So we are back. Some technical difficulties, but we still had to give it to the people. This is 94 Feet of Life, 2021-2022 NBA season preview. We will send this link out to everybody, so don't you worry. You will see this. It's Ron, Trav, historian Hoops Ham in the building, MJ's in the building. Hopefully, Darren will join us in a little bit. Fellas, it seems like we were just here, but not really. 2021-22 season, man, fellas. Everybody, hey, open conversations. How's going on? How y'all feeling about the new season?
If content is king, you are looking at royalty. 94 Feet of Life, sponsored to you by the same. This is also brought to you by Monkey Knife Fights. If you are not joined by Monkey Knife Fights, what are you doing with your life? Let's tell them that the same sent you. All you gotta do is just put in the same promo code that match you up to $100 to be able to fulfill your gambling needs on the over and the under. You know we're gonna give you the game to make sure that you can get paid a little bit. So you might as well rock with us. With the politics out the way, I feel great. We get to watch some basketball again. And shout out to the WNBA for giving us our fix throughout.
Absolutely.
This game is the game. And as long as you could take your own personal emotions and feelings out of it and just enjoy basketball at its purest form, you will always be fulfilled. So I'm swinging this on to Ham. Ham, go ahead and talk to the people, bro. Still on mute.
Well, it feel like we on basketball overload, especially coming over like the last 3 seasons with the pandemic bubble season, then the shortened game-wise yet extended calendar-wise season that we had last year. Now we back on regular schedule. So it felt like we worked third shift one day, second shift the next day, then came back and worked first. Now we back on first shift again. And we all loony. We need to call Mo Schefter. We need to get some of that premium coffee that he be getting imported so we can be on that same level. But yo, I'm ecstatic for it though, because it's like, yo, first of all, shout out to Shy City in the Chicago Sky. Great. I got a chance to actually watch. I didn't get a chance to see the first 3 games of the WNBA finals, but I got the chance, get in on it today and got to see the closeout. And it kind of got me in gear for Tuesday night, just to get back in gear and get in flow. And I got to readjust my sleep pattern, man. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of those late 9:30 odd time games I'm going to want to be up for. So, Trav, what you got, man?
Man, I'm just happy that the world gets NBA basketball on time and we can stop with all these other ridiculous comments that be going on. We can actually watch the game at a natural setting. Fans are back. Get tested if you ain't got tested. It's gonna be a safe environment. I'm just happy that basketball is back and that we really get to see some good basketball, man. Because I ain't gonna lie, this season got some stuff to talk, especially how the way this women finals went down.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to out to the Sky for doing us all a favor so we don't have to burn out the remote control on Tuesday night, because the season doubleheader plus the Sky, that would have been a difficult thing to do. So shout out to them. But fellas, let's get to it. And Trey, I want to start right there. I think it is going to be a really interesting season. I think there are so many plot twists this year. I don't think there's a clear favorite. I think I'm not going to say it's parity, fellas, but I think there are 7 teams who could play in June, who realistically have a shot to play in June. We know about the drama. We start in the Eastern Conference. There's high drama. The 2 teams who I feel should be playing for the Eastern Conference Finals both got drama. We got the return of the champs. Miami has reloaded. The young Hawks get their first real taste of playoff basketball last year. What did they do? So let's start in the Eastern Conference. MJ, Eastern Conference. We'll semi-talk about some of the drama in Brooklyn and Philadelphia, but we're not going to spend too much time on it because that ain't what we do here to sing. But in the Eastern Conference, just sort of your observations early about kind of the landscape of the East.
No country for old man. The East is very young. The East is very vibrant. The East has a lot of guys who have something to prove, to have a chip on their shoulder, which is the reason why, even though in a regular season, it's going to be a lot of weird things that happen from a gambling standpoint, it's also going to be extremely competitive because the teams that are young, they're not scared of these other teams. They're not afraid of them at all. And they're going to try to run them out the gym. And they're going to try to out-athletic them. They're going to try to out-jump them, go through them. They're not going to play with them. So these veteran-based teams, they can't just use this regular season as a tune-up for the playoffs like they think, or they're going to mess around and end up in the 6th, 7th seed or even the play-in. Right. You have to take every game seriously this season, and this is what I'm excited about. There is no more you just show up, get drunk that night before, and still walk your way to a 10-point victory. That's not happening this season. You're going to have to prepare the right way. You're going to have to take the scouts seriously. And guys might still just make shots and shock you, even though you're doing the right things. So far in the East, and I'm going to move this over to Trav. So far in the East, I like Miami a lot. And I think we're still not giving Milwaukee the respect that they deserve, mainly because Giannis is going to be playing carefree basketball. And that's scary as hell. The other teams that you said they have drama, obviously, if they do what they're supposed to do, they should be considered. But for the most part, basketball is a team game, and the secret to basketball is that it's not about basketball. So if you got teams that have problems outside of basketball, it's going to show on the court. So Trav, what's your thoughts?
I mean, if we stand on the East, you can hit everything hit the nail on the head on everything, man. I really do want to see the Nets get there. I really do want, with all the stuff that's going on, I really want to see the Nets get there. Atlanta is young, but like Big Shot said, they're one of them young teams that don't care. They don't care. They're going to go at you. They're going to cut your throat. They're going to do whatever it takes. And they got the young babyface villain. He don't care either.
Wario.
He don't care. He don't care. Trae Young do not care, man. And it's just fitting that I have to say this, but I need the Knicks to make it to the playoffs again. The Eastern Conference is not the Eastern Conference with that crowd not involved in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's just I mean, you know how people always holler about, well, it's politics in the game. It's all this and all that. I'm gonna tell you one thing. It may be politics about this, but New York belongs in the playoffs just for NBA satisfaction needs only, man. So worldwide, I see you came in, man. Talk to us about the East, man.
Man, sorry I'm late.
You good, man. You are good.
You good?
I promise you good.
It's been a busy day. But I like your point about the Knicks. NBA is where I can be a fan. I'm a fanboy when it comes to the NBA. So all my reasoning and logic goes out the window, and I'm fanboy. So very few times you give me as fanboy, but the league, I'm glad it's back. The Knicks coming back, Knicks going making the playoffs is great. Of course, I want to see my boy D Rose, the great Houdini back on that stage. Him and Kemba, I think that's going to be that's a dynamic. Being Kemba is, if he's 90% of what he was, it's going to be tough. Knicks going to be a tough out. I like the Heat. I really like the Heat, just because they got a lot of goon energy down there.
Right.
They got a lot of goon energy. It's a lot of gang activity down there when it comes to the Heat with Kyle and Morris twin and Jimmy Butler, and, and then you got Capo, Spoelstra, then you got the boss, Pat Wright. Like it's a lot of gang activity down there.
You got PJ Tucker.
PJ, the energy is everything you see in a Black Air Force One in Miami. Everything they are the soul of a Black Air Force One right now. The bar is just.
Yeah,
we heard it.
Hey man, and this is where fanboy Les really comes in. My Chicago Bulls gonna make some noise. Top 5 seed, I'm calling it right now. Top 4 seed, I'm calling it right now. Maybe a 5th. And like Vusi, we got Vusi. Zach LaVine is turning into a perennial, all-star, superstar type player. We got the mid-range martyr, as as Ronnie would call it, DeMar DeRozan. But Lonzo Ball he's gonna play with so much confidence this year. And this is why I think so. And it has nothing to do, just like Myron said, it really has nothing to do with basketball. It has all to do with all the other things surrounding it. Chicago coveted him. They wanted him. They went out and got him. Mm-hmm. Also, he got paid. And at the end of the day, Lonzo, he has a lot of winning qualities. Yeah. He has a lot of winning qualities, and that's what you want in your point guard. And I think he makes the Bulls, like I said, top 4 seed would be great. Get some home games in the UC, some guarantee,
94 feet of life we've been open on 6 years, going on 7. This is the most interesting Bulls team.
Yes.
We've been open.
Yes.
And we've been open for 7 years.
Yes.
And I would.
Yes. I
have not watched, full disclosure, I have not watched a full Bulls game probably in about 3 years.
Yeah.
They were a completely uninteresting team to watch. They weren't on like banned from my TV status, but they were on. Let me see if it's something else on.
Yeah.
And I'll back to them later. But this year, they're actually going to be a watchable team this year.
Yes. Yeah.
First years.
Yeah. And I'm not disrespecting the Bucks. Just want to put that out there. I'm not disrespecting the Bucks. I'm not disrespecting the 76ers. Like I don't care who's playing. If Ben stays or not, whatever. The 76ers are still going to be a good basketball team. They're still going to be a good basketball team. They're going to be a credible basketball team. Not disrespecting those two. The Nets, everybody knows my affinity for KD. But I'm excited to see the Heat, the Knicks, the Bulls, and also the Hawks, because I think, we've talked about this before. The Hawks could potentially turn into Golden State 2.0.
They might be the most fun team in the East.
Yes.
Not the team in the East.
Yes.
But the fun level in Atlanta is through the roof with Trey, shooters all over the court.
John Collins
is gonna dunk on somebody's head.
He is a highlight factory all by himself.
And Gallinari is a bucket.
And this is what I think happened with the Hawks. They combined youthful energy and took on Nate McMillan's personality.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what happened, and they clicked. So they took on his personality with that youthful energy. And Nate McMillan's underrated. He's an underrated coach. He's underrated.
So let's get to. And again, we're not gonna spend a bunch of time on it because y'all can get that from the mainstream. But let's talk about this from the basketball point of view. Philadelphia and Brooklyn.
Yeah.
if this goes south, and when I say go south, I'm saying you don't have Kyrie for the entire year. I'm saying Philadelphia, the Ben Simmons things, it can't be resolved. And feelings are too hurt. And he either just kind of goes into the tank, or they do have to move him. Do either one of these two teams still make the finals if things go worst case scenario with these two players?
No. Philly definitely not making the finals. Philly just not making the finals. I don't care if Ben acts right. They're not making the finals. They're just not. The way that they play the game, the way that they're set up, is too much offensive potency. And for them to be offensively potent, they got to slow it down because they got to keep Embiid involved. Atlanta pretty much showed their Achilles heel. Atlanta ran the hell out of them. They just ran them into the dirt. There wasn't nothing that could be done. And the thing about Atlanta is they're deep in every position, 3 people deep. They can go 15 deep. They go 15 deep with the center, that rookie boy. I can't really pronounce his name, but he's in the Wims. You got Clint Capella. If you want to go offensive juggernaut for center, you could put Gallinari at center or Collins at center. They got wings for days. People sleep on DeAndre Hunter and his importance. I think if he was available to be able to play his defensive position that he was, I think that brings it all together. You know, Herter, Bogdanovic, shooters. Cam Reddish, we ain't even talk about that element. Like, he got a lot of Paul Pierce in him. He will create a bucket out of nowhere. So now you get another weapon. Like, they have a lot to worry about. So, you know, and I can name like 3 other teams that's similar to Atlanta. And Philly, from a potency standpoint, they don't have a stout identity on defense like a Miami. And they're not putting up 130 a game like Atlanta. So they're right in the middle. You can't be that way if you want to be that way. Brooklyn, obviously, as long as you got Harden and KD with the people that they just got, with or without Kyrie, they're still going to be in a discussion. But I think Kyrie is what puts them over. And if he can't play, they just don't look as scary as they really are. Because, you know, as great as KD is, you know, if you make him work hard enough and turn him into a one-on-one player, it takes away the one special thing that he can do, which is play, make, and do other things defensively and bring all of it together. And I think the reason why Milwaukee was able to steal out of that because he made it personal with PJ Tucker going one-on-one with him. And he still made the shot. That's how good he is. It's just his feet too big.
You're right.
He needed a 17 instead of an 18, man.
Needed 17 to 18. Shout out to our main man, Germ, in the building, taking some time off the NFL viewing. Shout out to Germ, join us for the season preview. We still in the Eastern Conference, Germ, so definitely we talk about some of the landscape of it. Now, another team that I'm looking at now is a team like Charlotte. Charlotte was a team that made the play-in last year. And with young teams, you're looking for another step. We talked about looking for the third step on the Euro. We looking for another step out of Charlotte. Another young team, y'all crazy. Another young team in the East. I don't think they're going to win a lot of games. But I think Detroit, if the development of Killian Hayes and Cade Cunningham is all this year is about to be, is getting those 2 guys, that's your 7th pick from last year and the 1st pick from this year, getting those 2 guys comfortable with each other. Toronto, now you're back in Toronto. You spent the whole year last year in Florida. COVID hit crazy last year for them. I look at those situations. Detroit, development of young players. Toronto, getting back at home. Germ, we talked about some of the things in the East. Before we switch over to the West, your outlook on the East, some things that you're looking at.
I'm excited to see the reigning champs come back. I'm going to see how they look in year 2. That's Drew Holiday year 2 in this institution, doing his things. I'm also excited to see I'm still excited to see Brooklyn. I still think that James Harden and Kevin Durant is enough with the supporting cast that they have. Let's not act like James Harden ain't one of these hoopers that we need to respect. James Harden is filthy. Like that's not your average hooper. We talk about a dude that played MVP level ball until that hamstring last year. He probably was going to win the MVP last year with Kevin Durant and Kyrie on the same team. So I'm interested to see that. But Philadelphia, I don't care what nobody say. They still got one of the 5-6 best rosters in basketball. They still got Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, whether he there or not, they're still going to be there at the end. It just is what it is. So those 3 teams, of course, I really think the Killian Hayes and the Cade Cunningham combination is going to be something fun to watch for Detroit. We're going back to Detroit basketball. We're going to be back to that. I'm here for it. And Les, you're gonna be excited when I say this, brother. I want to see the Bulls. I want to see the Bulls this year. I like what they did. I think the combination of Levine with my guy DeRozan, the mid-range assassin, I think that's a good combination. So we're gonna have some fun, man. This year is one of those years. It's a little bit more wide open, a little bit as far as who can probably get into the playoffs. Obviously, Atlanta. I mean, like y'all talked about when I was just getting on, man. MJ, you explained it perfectly. That is still, I mean, we haven't even seen what Cam Reddish and Trey look like together when they both on. Right. And Cam Reddish might be the most talented player on that team.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, Cam is that dude. So it's
different.
I'm here for it. Sign me up. Let's go.
I'm gonna get around real quick, but I gotta say this: we are not talking about Orlando's sneaky backcourt enough either. Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs is gonna be fun, and we need to put some respect on that. Go ahead, Ron.
No, and I think we're gonna talk about them sort of in our rapid fire. Boston with a new voice, with a different voice. I think Brad Stevens is now in the spot that he should have been in to start with. I think Brad Stevens now in the front office is a different look than Brad Stevens, college coach. So we're going to come back to Boston because I got a rapid fire in question involving one of those guys. So out to the West side. Obviously, we talk about the West side. We're talking about the Suns are the defending Western Conference champions, pretty much bringing back everybody. The Lakers add Les's 2 favorite players. I said nah.
It's like LeBron is trolling you in real life.
I mean, he
knows.
We need a camera. I need a camera just on Les for Laker basketball because all of his favorites, the banes of all his existence, reside on one team.
It's crazy. When we do this, let me go first.
So we're going to talk about the Lakers, but we also got the Warriors, who obviously weren't healthy, have not been healthy, honestly, for the better part of about almost 2.5 seasons. You've got Denver, who lost Jamal Murray at the end of the year last year. You have Utah, who disappointed me severely last year. Like Utah was my pick to get out of the West completely last year, and that went strong. So, Phil, let's get to the landscape of the West. And I want to go back, Trav. I'm going to go back to you. I'm going to get Trav back in the mix for a little bit. Outside of the Lakers, now the Lakers are the biggest story in the West. But for you, what's the next big thing in the West after the Lakers as far as a story?
you got to keep it. You got to keep it in the same building of the Staples Center, just right across the hall. That's what's going to be very interesting, especially with is Kawhi Leonard going to even start the season off? I don't think he's going to start the season off. So that's going to be a very. I mean, hey, that series against who was that Utah?
Yeah.
The series against Utah, we seen Schmurder, Bobby Schmurder. He made a lot of money for that one game, for that one series. He did his thing, man. It's gonna be very interesting to see how this ball club stands without Kawhi Leonard starting the season.
I can't wait.
Let's go to the other side of the locker of the other Staples Center. The Los Angeles Lakers, Carmelo, Westbrook, AD, LeBron, and Frank Vogel having to mix this veteran, expensive, a lot of all-star games, a lot of trophies. Talk to us about the Lakers and just kind of getting this all together, especially early in the season.
The way they assembled this team,
Mm-hmm.
okay? The way they assembled this team and how they did it and who they got and when they got them in their careers has literally made this the most difficult Lakers team for me in my history of watching basketball since paying attention to NBA basketball since like 1990, right? 91, the Lakers, and the Bulls beat the Lakers in the finals in 91. And I've carried that dislike for them ever since then, even though we won, right? Even though we won, I've carried this. And this year you have Carmelo Anthony. I've free Melo off when he was out. You guys seen I've made, Rondo. Everybody know how I feel about Rondo, right?
Yeah.
AD, Chicago, THT, K Nunn. Then my how I've irritated people about LeBron just knowing because I can do that. And then they have Russell Westbrook. And it's like I'm sitting and I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, this is really you do this, and then I rock I'm Chicago all the way, but I'm KD, and it's like I want to see Brooklyn, LA, right? We haven't seen this much heat and spiciness from Brooklyn, LA since Tupac and Biggie, right? It's just funny how this, how this 25 years later, Brooklyn, LA, it could be the biggest rivalry in sports right now, right? And I look at this LA team, and it's like the right mix, honestly. Like I said, I'm gonna take I'm gonna take my fanboy away and just actually look at it's a great mix. You have one of the best bigs in the game. You have arguably the best player in the game, one of the greatest to ever play the game right now in LeBron James. Like, facts is facts. The man he's one of the greatest. Then you got Westbrook, who wants to win, but he wants to win. And then you got Melo that wants to win, right? And then you surrounded him with You surrounded these guys with the ultimate winners, though, right? Rondo is a guy that I look at as an ultimate winner because he's literally put team, like when those guys left Boston or when those guys was getting old in Boston, he was putting them. We remember the 44-point game in the playoffs from Rondo.
Yeah.
Like, Rondo is an ultimate winner. And whatever chemistry him and AD got, maybe it's some BBN transference, whatever it is.
Or GN.
But
Or GN.
Here we go. They done let him in the door. But
yeah.
whatever it is, it's like, and then you got Dwight Howard. You got Dwight Howard that's happy to be back in LA. He's happy to be there. And we got to remember, Dwight Howard was the #1 pick in the draft. Dwight Howard is going to be a Hall of Famer. Like, he's still serviceable, and he's 35. And look at him. Just look at Dwight. Dwight looked, pause, but he looked better than he did when he first came in the league. Like, he's taking care of himself. And it's just like the Lakers, man, I just think they got something different than any Western Conference team. Because I don't think the Jazz have enough.
No.
I don't think they have enough. The Nuggets, Jamal Murray's going to be out. They're going to play without Jamal Murray for a while. The Clippers are playing without Kawhi. And I think that the Lakers, they may not start off hot, but when they figure it out, they're going to be hard. They're going to be hard to beat in the West, because I just don't. In Golden State, Klay has to play. I don't. You got the young boy Kuminga. You got Moody. You got Otto Porter.
Bill got AD.
You got Wiseman. It's like, I look at the Golden State Warriors. They're like, it's a term that Jeezy used to say. They young old school. They are young old school. You got some nice young pieces, and then you got your veteran guys. But I just don't think that's enough to beat the Lakers, who are veteran laden. They're going to have the best player on the floor. Every time the Lakers play, except for when they probably play the Nets or the Nets or the Bucks during the season, and it's going to be arguable. Every time the Lakers play, they're going to have the best player on the floor,
one way or another.
And that being either LeBron James or Anthony Davis. They're going to have the best player on the floor whenever they play.
What concerns me, Golden State, to your point, Les, and you talked about AD and LeBron. The league, we talk about how the league kind of, it's not, I don't know if it's a cycle, but we saw last year in the finals, size matters. Even in this up and down, high screen and roll, spread the floor league, size matters. Golden State has all the pieces back, but they are still a really small basketball team. And you saw when they played Memphis in the play-in, Memphis beat them up on the glass. The Lakers in the play-in, when Golden State lost the play-in in LA, got beat up on the glass. So for Golden State, even with Klay back, I don't think they got enough size.
Okay.
Well, let me say this. I think with everything that you said, I don't disagree. I think the Wiseman player was brought there to help with some of the size problems, right? You put that into the equation. I think the thing for me is Golden State they're so used to playing small, they're so used to playing that way, that I think the depth lineup for most of these teams, they're gonna have to take the bigs off the floor anyway, unless you're the Lakers with Anthony Davis. See, because Golden State, we don't even know what the depth lineup right now is gonna look like until Klay comes back and they figure out exactly who's gonna do what. Mm-hmm. They got all of the guys on the perimeter to make the Lakers have to play. Like Iguodala came back. So despite all that stuff he said on the Breakfast Club, look where he at, right back in Golden State. So it's almost like they have all the pieces. Draymond, say what you want to say about dude, but he guards Anthony Davis very well. We're not saying he can stop him, because Anthony Davis and y'all heard my KD and AD rant last year. Them is the two most dynamic players, I think, in basketball, because they do everything on the court. It's nothing that they can't do on the court, and they're proficient at everything. But I think the Warriors are the only team to me in the West that can threaten, because they have 30. And because if you got the the other sniper, as my guy Trav say, he don't need to dribble to knock that to give you 20.
Mhm.
He don't need to dribble. He don't need to do nothing but shoot 15 shots to give you 20 points. And that 15 shots is 15 shots now that takes that box and one and shatters it because you can't do it no more. And don't let them figure out how to use. Don't let Kuminga figure it out. Don't let him figure it out because that gives them a dynamic wing now that can score and defend on the other end. So I'm here for it, man. I love it.
Jern, go
MJ,
ahead. Go ahead,
Wait.
MJ. Go ahead.
Okay, so now y'all get to speak my language because we always talk about stars, not we, but everyone wants to talk about the stars. Everybody wants to talk about the stars. What I look for in this league, the most valuable person in this league next to the star is the guy that can guard multiple positions and make you pay on offense. Golden State, even though it's not a lot of names, have about 5 of those guys that can do that. Draymond Green, I've never seen anybody guard the pick and roll with AD in it so well. He was able to know how to shade, know how to follow the ball when they tried to make the pass and get deflections, know how to get to him and get underneath him so that he was off balance. Like, I've never seen anything like it. He literally shut down the entire pick and roll transaction by himself numerous times in that playing game. Don't get it twisted. They lost because they just didn't have enough bullets. They got enough bullets now. So Warriors is obviously a team that I'm going to enjoy watching. I still don't know if there's enough for the Lakers if they healthy and they click. First off, if the Lakers click, ain't enough for nobody but probably Brooklyn. But the thing about it is, in this game, will they click? Because we've seen Westbrook go to Washington, and it took him a long time to finally get his feet settled. Will they have the patience with him? We know you're playing in a young league. This is a young man's league. Are y'all going to let Kendrick Nunn and THT do the dirty work for y'all in the regular season and play them 20 minutes so they can run with the young teams? Or are y'all going to still try to have, older guys trying to guard dudes that they just can't guard in 82 games?
Right.
Those things matter. And then, we look at the other teams in which we haven't even mentioned. We haven't mentioned Dallas yet. They got Jason Kidd as the coach. I'm sure they're going to turn a corner with Jason Kidd as a coach. He might burn them out, but at least for the next 2 years, they're going to be competitive. I'm being honest. You already talked about Denver.
We didn't talk about Phoenix.
Phoenix is actually another great matchup against the Lakers. Y'all still really haven't figured out the medium post thing with Devin Booker and Chris Paul.
Right.
Also, if I'm the Clippers and, Big Shot texted me and said, I need you to have a trade scenario for me. So I had to make sure I got Big Shot what he needed. You know what the Clippers should do? They should go to California, go to the capital of California and say, look, y'all know y'all don't need Fox, Halliburton, and Off Night. Give me Halliburton for whatever you need, as long as it's not named Paul George or Kawhi Leonard. And now you get Bobby Smurder with Halliburton, Kawhi, and Paul George. Now this becomes a team that you got to look at like, wait a minute, this is tough.
Man, for the people that's going to watch this, when we say Bobby Smurder, we're talking about Reggie Jackson, y'all. So keep that in mind.
Trav, back to you. Let me go back to you, Trav.
Yeah.
That was weird because there was no San Antonio Spurs in the playoffs. Weird things. Are the Spurs a team? We're going to talk about now teams who can get back into the playoffs, teams who weren't in the playoffs last year. Are the Spurs a playoff team?
No, not yet. Not yet. If they make it, I like it, but not yet. Not yet. They're young. Popovich, he adapts to his environment, and he's gonna adapt to the game as how the game goes on. We're still gonna run our stuff, but when it's time to push the ball with the athletic guards that we do have, we're going to push the ball, and that's how we're gonna have to win games. As you seen the other night against the Houston Rockets, San Antonio looked real good. Doug McDermott McDermott, he was shooting the rock. White, he was doing what he's supposed to do, distributing the ball, shooting it. We got Thaddeus Young. Hopefully he'll give us some veteran leadership and contribute also. But the Spurs right now, I don't see ourselves making the playoffs. And if we run up against a team somewhat like the Memphis Grizzlies or somewhere like that, they're gonna beat us. But we're gonna fight. That young team is going to fight. That's one thing that I can say about this San Antonio Spurs team. They're going to fight. If it may look ugly, but at the end of the day, they're going to fight. So that's what I like about my team this year.
And they got my guy Josh Primo. I love that.
Primo is nice. He's
Love
a nice
Primo.
young fella. Yes.
Shout out
So,
to the Grizzlies in general. Go ahead, Juan.
So teams who didn't make the play last year, I'm gonna just throw teams. You tell me possibility. You could tell me play playoffs, play in, or home for the
Stay in.
or
Play
stay.
off or play in.
So
Stay in.
Oklahoma City,
Stay in. They ass right out the playoffs.
Sacramento,
Airbnb.
Not yet.
New Orleans.
Hell no.
Not yet.
Send them to Seattle.
He said, "Hell no."
It ain't their fault. It ain't talent. Send them to Seattle. Once you compare your GM to Jerry Krause, that's all I need to hear about your organization. I don't need to hear nothing. Get them to Seattle
They
and
did
fire your
say
GM.
Minnesota.
What?
no.
My God, man. Give me play in, man. I'm gonna go play in.
No.
You gonna take Minnesota for the play-in?
I think this is one of them year. I think this is again. This is all contingent on health of Karl Anthony Towns and Ant-Man. I think that combination is lethal. And I just think that the rest of the guys around them, this is year 2 playing with both of them. I'm gonna go and say that's my surprise team for the West. Give me them play
That's Zach LaVine and Vucevic part 2. Go ahead. Houston, no.
in. MJ, I hate you.
I think. I think it's definitely in the Chet Holmgren sweepstakes.
Yeah.
All right, East, we have Orlando, not a playoff team. No.
Say that one more time.
Orlando.
Nah,
Orlando. They're not gonna make it. I hope them 2 guards make us bright skinned fellas proud. Man. Kill.
Washington.
No.
Absolutely not.
Non-playoff team. We've talked about them a couple of times early. Chicago.
Play in at least.
No, Chicago in the playoffs. I'll put Chicago in the playoffs.
I'm saying playoff at least. Play in at least. Like they'll at least be right there at the 9, fighting for the 8.
I'm gonna say they get in.
6 seed.
They're gonna get in. They're not gonna play they're not gonna be in no play-in. They're gonna be in the playoffs.
Cleveland.
How they gonna start the season, man? That's the only thing we're gonna say.
No.
Cleveland.
No.
You said who?
Cleveland.
You said who?
No.
Man, hell no, folks.
Detroit.
No.
Not yet.
Detroit. Okay, I'm trying to think if that's all the Toronto.
Possible. It's only 2 teams I think that's possible play-ins. That's one of those, and Charlotte. Maybe a play-in.
Maybe a plane. All right. Now, we always talk about who's going to win what awards. A guy outside of the norm. You got your Durant, you got LeBron, Curry. Luka is sort of like the guy like who feels like he's supposed to win, like the first one. I'm gonna tell you a guy I like as a dark horse, and I put this in '94. I think Jason Tatum has an opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll shout out to Monkey Knife Fights, get the code. Jason Tatum right now, depending on what Vegas site you look like, is about 20 to 25 to 1. If you got some spare pennies, some spare coins laying around, just saying, I am not guaranteeing this, gamble responsibly. Jason Tatum as a dark horse MVP pick, I kind of like it because he's going to get opportunity. And he's not really sharing the ball with someone who can take away from his numbers. So I got Jason Tatum. Who do y'all like as a outside the norm candidate for MVP?
Give me Ice Tray. If the Hawks have a good season, he's gonna be in the conversation for sure. I think they went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and a lot of it was on his dollar. So we got to call it what it is. He has arrived on the scene, no pun intended. I love the Jason Tatum one too. And I'm gonna let y'all throw out another one. If y'all don't say the other name that I got in mind, I'll say it again. I ain't gonna steal no thunder.
That's one I gotta. I mean, I like the Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, that's one of the ones for me that he can get it done. But if I want to just put a name out there, PG-13, man.
That's a good name.
PG-13. He's gonna have the start. Everything is gonna be right there for him. Mm-hmm. Can he hold that team together before help is on the way? That's gonna be the key.
Come on, MJ. Come on, drop the J because the fadeaway perfect. Come on.
I know you said another unpopular candidate. There isn't any. This is what I think is going to happen. I think y'all are not taking this Bucks team serious just the way y'all didn't take that Warriors team and won the first time serious. And I think Giannis is going to have a FU season. He is going to have a FU season that is going to solidify this is my league no matter what y'all say. I got Giannis winning the MVP. And it's going to be a majority rule, like 70-30 type deal.
Oh, you got Giannis throwing up on them MJ.
Listen,
ball numbers.
Bruh, did you see the preseason? It looked easy. He was on balance. Y'all, they backed up. He shot that three like he had like Dovanovic at the last name. He shot that three like he was Croatian.
I don't like this.
For real, he got it like he's Croatian, like
not like Croatian.
Bruh, all the Croatians could shoot. Don't do that to me. It's a positive. It's a positive stereotype, so I can use it.
No, it's shout out to it.
Giannovic, that's what he looked like. I'm gonna call him Giannovic this season if he shoot up 36. If he shoot 36 to 3, his name is Giannovic. Book it right now. I got you in the MVP. And he already got the dirt fade going. Like, yo, sign me up. Giannis is winning this MVP.
So
they're gonna win. They're gonna repeat, but he gonna win that MVP.
Let me say this.
So
I'm gonna say this. Just like you said there about Giannis, I've tried to follow directions first, Ronnie. But us Sagittarians don't normally follow directions very well, which MJ just, he FU season off. So it's over with. So I'm going to make another bold prediction like MJ just did, but I'm going to go to another player in the same conference. James Hart. This team is built different. And they have Patty Mills, who's going to be in the corner. He's going to be shooting those 3-pointers. It's getting broskies. It's getting ready to be different. They got more snipers, which fits what they want to do anyway. And then on top of that, these young, for whatever reason, how did Brooklyn end up with these young dudes that can hoop so good?
This was a deep draft, man.
Yeah,
It was, but when you see the guards though that they ended up with, you get to looking like,
yeah.
Give
I mean, what
me
happened
that
was
guard.
the people who drafted before Brooks needed other things besides what was left over, and it was just plentiful to be able to take for Brooklyn, and they were smart enough to get a combo type guard with a combo NBA body with NBA style game. I mean, it's hard to look at a wing in college and tell if it could translate over, but Cam Thomas already had all of that. He had that.
It's impressive. It's impressive. You know what I'm saying? Like I agree with you, but it's just like it's impressive to see where they are and to see how they look already and those type of things. So I'm here for that. Paul Millsap would have motivated LaMarcus Aldridge. And we ain't even talked about that part yet. Give you a big, that gives us a big to play a little pick and pop with, pick and roll with. James the Beard. Give me.
Yeah, he with Kyrie's absence, he's gonna have an opportunity to be. I mean, he's already, like I said, last year he was an MVP candidate, a strong MVP candidate before he got hurt, and they had all three of them.
Yes.
Now with Kyrie not there, he's gonna get the lion's share of the playmaking and the playmaker responsibility. So he got a shot. Before we get out of here, fellas, couple rapid fires, real quick. Top of your head, you can change this prediction later because it ain't even Halloween, so all these are changeable. Your NBA Finals pick as of October 17th.
Brooklyn Golden State.
Brooklyn Golden State draft.
I gotta see it. I gotta see Brooklyn and the Lakers.
MJ.
The Bubble Part 2.
Miami, LA.
Really?
That's actually my pick.
Mm-hmm.
That's that Chicago energy, man.
Pat Riley.
I think Pat got the people.
The Pat Riley Invitational.
Look, Pat got 12 people that not only can score, but they can defend. They're not afraid of anything. They actually do want to fight you. So now
they do.
As long as Udonis Haslam is in that locker room, you better be ready to fight.
They
do on and off the court.
Do want to fight you. Player, you think I'll hit the obvious. A low-key trade, a player you think an important player who you think could get moved.
That could be moved. You know what?
Hey,
I would love to see. I've been saying this since last year. Do the trade, man. Send Ben to Portland. Bring Dame to the 76. Change the pendulum. Change it.
Change the pendulum, huh?
Change the pendulum. Change it. Make that stand go like this. That'll do it.
The guy I think you could see get moved.
Zion Williamson to the Knicks.
Zion in the Garden would be ugly.
Dude.
Zion Williamson and Julius Randle is going to be like Oakley and Mason,
redefine
but skill and athleticism. I mean, they were skilled too, but athleticism. More athletic Oakley and Mason. Then it will be real life Nick energy.
Dude, you all remember when Bonzi Wells and Ron Artest was at Sacramento?
Right.
Yeah. Baby energy. It was baby energy.
That was bullying to the fullest. Both small forwards that play like power forwards. that would be there. But at a more efficient and left-handed clip.
Look, you
And they
Zion,
both left-handed too. Yo, that's crazy.
you got to talk about this for a second. You get Zion, Julius Randle, Kemba Walker, and D Rose in the Garden.
Nasty.
Come on,
Nasty.
come on, bro.
Two guards. Buddy Hield, I think will be traded this year because Halliburton, Fox, and Off Night. And Buddy has a commodity that every team wants. Buddy, I think, is traded. The other guy, I think, because we know they love trading.
Right there, Trav.
SGA.
Oh, you know what?
I think somebody who's looking to rebuild. If you are a team who either you think you're a guard short, SGA might be somebody you might want to make a call
I have a team in mind that I will not mention because they are unlawfully slaw, and I just do not want to put that out there and that energy into the universe. But there's an Eastern Conference team that I think could make a switch.
I'll send SGA back home. I'll send him to his hometown. That'll be a good look for them.
on. Toronto?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Him and Van Fleet in the backcourt. That's something.
Nice. That'd be very nice.
That would be.
That's
I think,
what Van Fleet needs.
because we know Oklahoma City don't really want to pay,
Mm-hmm.
and SGA is going to have to get paid some.
Did he get paid?
But he has that second extension. He ain't got the unmovable extension.
Mm-hmm.
So I think SGA and Buddy Hield will be the two guards if you want to see two people get moved, who could get moved.
Mm-hmm.
NBA, do the right thing and send Zion to the Knicks. Do the right thing.
Man.
I need that in my life.
You want to do if you want to see if you want to see, whoa, the West always been strong, but if you want to put that in question, if you do that, and if you send Dame to Philly, the Western Conference, man. Western Conference, it's gonna go down. It's gonna raise up, and the East gonna go just like this, cause it's a lot of heavyweight over there. It's gonna be a lot.
All right, and before we get out of here, we got about 5 minutes left. We're gonna get to the Sunday night action and the baseball playoff. Thing that you are most looking forward to about this season. Doesn't have to be anything of just one thing that you like. I can't wait for this.
I can't wait
Go
for the
ahead.
Splash Brothers to be reunited and be dropping threes on everybody's head.
Go ahead.
I can't wait for the mid-range to come back in full throttle. The mid-range shot will be back in full throttle because I think this finals, people still probably are skeptical. Probably, oh, this is just a weird year. The mid-range game is back. We need it.
I can't wait for the group of 94 Feet of Life to get their sanity back. So the season needs to start.
That is true. It is true. I feel like this off season has gotten folks a little bit off kilter, and now we need to get real. So I will double down on that, Trav.
Mm-hmm.
So 94 Feet of Life is the Facebook group. Seeing is the family. We're going to put this out. We're doing a pre-recorded. We're doing a little bit unusual, away from the live. This episode will be reposted several times before the season starts, and even when the season first starts, so you can see how we did. Trav, Germ, Ham, Coach Les in the building, Ham. This is 94 Feet of Life, basketball for the people, signing out.